We are so back. We're so back, it's not even funny. What's going on, everybody? We're live and direct. Welcome to Cassius Morris Official for another live stream. Kick things off with a little toothpick. Rico Suave looking motherfucker. Just too suave for his own good. And we're coming to you guys from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, with a packed live stream. Kicking things off with Joe Rogan speaking on Donald Trump suing the BBC for an egregious act of false editing. This has been a pretty crazy story that we've been looking at. So we're going to play the clip of Rogan. We're going to play the clip of Trump. We're going to explain everything that happened. But this stream is much bigger than just that. We have a lot of different topics to cover today. And we're coming to you live from the apartment. Bro, look at this apartment. Look at this fucking apartment. How sexy it is. Hang on a second. I got to show you guys because we're not wired in. I just wanted to freestyle it today. Just take a look at the view from the room. We got the picture window. We are so back. It's not even funny. Ho Chi Minh City, I'm inside you. Saigon, I'm inside you. So yeah, let's rock it out, man. Let's have some fun. Let's watch some clips. We got Rogan, we got Ozzy Osbourne, we got Axl Rose, we got Kiss, we got a whole lot of things coming up on today's show. So I wanted to make it something special. So let's take a look at this Rogan shit. So here's what happened with Rogan for anybody who's not familiar with the story. Like I say, he's talking about Donald Trump and his beef with the BBC. Shout out Lois, shout out Lee in the chat. So yeah, so the BBC aired this footage of Donald Trump on January 6th, and evidently what they did was they tried to manipulate the video to make it seem like he was calling for more violence than he actually did. I didn't get to actually really see this clip in full yet, so we're going to watch it together. So let's see what the edit is all about. We're going to see what Rogan had to say, and then we're going to see what Trump is going to do about it. Live and direct.
Hello, good evening. Tim Davie has tonight resigned as Director General of the BBC.
Yeah, so their leaders resigned after this. So this is a serious thing. Imagine doing such bad reporting, you have to literally resign from your job.
Has tonight resigned as Director General of the BBC, along with the CEO of BBC News, Deborah Turness, after a week of criticism of BBC News coverage and allegations of editorial mistakes.
So yeah, it says, according to a leaked internal memo, the episode spliced together portions of Trump's speech to make it seem like he explicitly called for violence at the Capitol on January 6th, 2001.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
This is the edited version.
And I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So the documentary clip features lines taken from the two sections of Trump's speech, 55 minutes apart. That's crazy. Here's the original.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. But I said, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun.
What happened here today was an insurrection. Inside.
So he was talking about something else, and they literally took it and cut it as if he was saying they need to fight like hell at the Capitol. Okay, so pretty bad. Like when it comes to manipulation, that's a pretty bad mistake, or not even a mistake. That's a pretty bad lie to be told. Now, Joe Rogan weighed in on this, and I think he's a good person to hear talk about this too, because it's happened to him. We've seen this shit happen to him. You guys remember the ivermectin clip? CNN had him looking sick and saying all this shit, and that ivermectin didn't work, and they spliced together all these different words, and that's not even what he had to say. So let's hear what Rogan thinks about this one.
You see the BBC thing? The BBC thing is crazy. The head of BBC had to resign because they took a film of Trump from January 6th, the speech that he gave, and they edited it so something that he said 52 minutes later, they put right after when he said something to make it look like he was trying to get people to go attack people and fight at the Capitol.
Wow.
They do
that to you all the time.
But this one's nuts.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Red Band. They do that shit to Rogan all the time. If there's one person who knows about the media being dishonest, it's probably Rogan. Rogan and Trump would be the two guys.
Not only is this one nuts, but this one is for a literal president of the greatest country the world's ever known. He's the president, and you're lying about what he said publicly, which is on the internet, which anybody can see. Like, it is the clearest indication of how that woke shit was rotting people's brains. And is still, but just less. You know what I mean? It was on the march then, and they all felt like they had to go along with it. And so, and by any means necessary, we must make sure that, so they decided to paint a different version of what he said. And they're fucked now. They're fucked.
BBC?
60 Minutes did it with the Kamala Harris interview, but they did it the other way. They made it look like she had a good answer. Which is it's so crazy. Like, you guys are supposed to be the news. Right. You're not supposed to be the propaganda arm of whatever party you support.
Facts.
This is nuts.
Facts.
This is fucking nuts. And BBC is always the one you quote when you want to seem smart. I was watching this thing on the BBC. Oh, yeah. Dude, you watch the BBC?
That's me too, by the way. I'm guilty of that for sure. Because people will say, if you don't trust the mainstream media in America and Canada, well, who do you watch then? And my go-to would always be the BBC. Because I always felt like BBC had a bit of an advantage not being in this orbit of the American news cycle. And I always felt like they did report more fairly, especially on Trump, when he first got in. I would feel like I would see them report on him, and it would be more objective. Because here's my thing. To me, the news in America and Canada, because to me it's one and the same as a Canadian. American news, Canadian news is basically the same thing. Especially because most Canadians actually watch American news more than our own channels. But the news in America, which I will put in air quotes, is not really news, it's an opinion show. So when I watch CNN, I'm not watching a news report, I'm watching the host give their opinion on the news. That's why you see them sitting in a circle at a table with 9 people and everybody's giving their opinion. Nothing about that programming is actually informing the public. It's just an opinion cycle. So when you're watching American news, at least to me, you're watching the opinion of somebody on the news. Whereas when I was watching BBC or reading it, I found that it was more so objective. Because we have to remember, every news department, every news channel gets the memo in the same way. Let's say that Trump does a speech in Idaho today. CNN, Fox, BBC, MSNBC are all going to get a little blip that says Trump did a speech today. So if they were to simply report that, unbiased, with nothing else, that's reporting the news. But what happens in America is they'll get a note that says Trump did a speech in Idaho today, and then they will go and give their opinion on what he said. That's not informing the public. That's not a news show. That is legitimately an opinion show. So I always felt like watching especially non-American news outlets was a safer bet for actually maybe getting the news reported to you in a way that was authentic and actually reporting what's happening. But now it looks like it's, it's one and the same. BBC, yeah, maybe Cambodian news might be better. But BBC, just complete manipulation.
You must be fucking smart.
And PBS. I mean, that used to be what I considered like school. Like that's like, the best,
Exactly.
the good guys, I guess.
Did you see that PBS lady? She's like, sometimes truth gets in the way of good. They're like, what? No, it doesn't. Truth doesn't get in the way, you fucking crazy asshole. And then they had an interview with her, and they were like asking her questions, just like such non-answers. Like, what did you mean by this? Are you, do you guys lean in one way or another, ideologically or politically? And there's like this circular non-answer dance where you're never a real person. You're not saying, thank you, Mr. Senator, for that question. Like, you're not real. You're just trying to get through this session without revealing anything that's going to force you to be sued. And that's in charge of the narrative that we get on TV. And a respected narrative. PBS, very respected. BBC, very respected. Because of the past. And it just got infected by zombies. They just made their way through that gates. And they took over the staff. Blue hair.
What's next?
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong, dude. Rogan is not wrong. It is pretty crazy to think about the way they take over the news cycle. I want to watch a little bit more before I give my thoughts. So, Trump did an interview with Laura Ingraham talking about this. Let me see if I can find it. I just had it pulled up. This one here.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech. And
the greatest speech. It was an incredible speech, folks. Tremendous speech. And they changed my speech. And
I guess I have to. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech. And they made it sound radical.
I don't know about a calming speech, Mr. President. Like, let's not get carried away here. As much as we don't want to get carried away on one side, didn't he say he wanted to do something to Mike Pence? Like, I didn't see it as quite calming, but okay, let's hear him out, to be fair.
Made it sound radical, and they actually changed it.
Tonight you are saying to our viewers that you will go forward and file a defamation lawsuit against the BBC.
Well, I think I have an obligation to do it because you can't allow people to do that.
I'm in.
Yeah, so here's the thing with me. I actually tend to agree with what I'm hearing here. I think Rogan and Trump, in a rare moment, are dead on the money. Because here's the thing. This is a perfect reflection of exactly not only what the problem was when Trump first won, but also actually why he ended up getting such a loyal base after winning the 2016 election. Because Trump won, and I would say the MAGA cult base, whatever you want to call it, was pretty strong. Like, obviously, he had enough of a base to propel him to winning the presidency. But what we saw after 2016 was interesting because we saw, like, this, how it solidified, how much people came to love Trump against the mainstream media, against the Democrats, against whoever they perceive to be the enemy. And my perception of it is that this lying and manipulation about what he said and represented is exactly what made people love him even more. Chris Rock had a really, really great interview where he spoke on Trump. And Chris Rock wasn't a Trump supporter, but this quote that he said always stuck with me when he talked about Trump, and it made a lot of sense. He said, the worst thing you can do with a guy like Trump when he does 4 things wrong is say that he did 5 things wrong. Because what happens when you add that 5th element is it gives people it emboldens people to say, well, you're lying about this guy. He's actually not that bad. He's probably actually pretty good because you're lying about him. Trump did enough bad shit in his life, along with good shit, that you could have just been honest about it the whole time. I think even if you asked Donald Trump, are you a perfect person? He would say no. If you asked Trump, are you always correct? He would say no. He's done enough good shit and enough bad shit to where you can call it out individually and you don't really need to lie about it. But what happened in 2016 is, like Rogan mentioned, there was such a desperation to stop him in his tracks, to stop the MAGA movement, to throw a wrench inside of what he was doing, that people started getting desperate and people started grasping at straws and trying to make shit up. And what happened was the more that they tried to make shit up about Trump or twist his narrative and they kept getting caught in little lies, the more they kept doing that, the stronger Trump's base actually ended up becoming. And it's just natural. You know, when you are making yourself the enemy of somebody and you're trying to lie about what they're doing, that makes them look better by default. And that's even what happened with me. I've made this very clear on my streams. I'm not a political fan of anybody. I don't champion any politician any more than I hate any politician. I'm very neutral when it comes to politicians. I don't really believe in politics when it comes to like political figures. I don't really believe in any of them. But the one thing after 2016 that actually made me start to warm up to Trump a little bit was when they kept lying about him, and I kept catching them in these lies. They would say that he said all Mexicans are rapists, for example. You go look up the clip, he didn't say all Mexicans are rapists. It's ridiculous. That makes Trump look better. They say that he says, oh, Nazis are very fine people. You look up the clip, he never said that. That makes Trump look better. The more they kept trying to lie about Trump, the better Trump actually looked, and it actually even made him look more honest than the media. And we know Donald Trump is not necessarily the most honest guy on the planet, okay? He may be known for a lot of things. He has a great drive, maybe business acumen, motivation. I don't know about the most honest man, maybe honest in some moments, but this type of lying and this type of rhetoric about him not only made him look better and more honest and more virtuous, it also emboldened his audience to point the finger and say, you guys are the enemy. And the issue with this is that his audience is right. Because when you're lying and manipulating and making things up, it's going to make that person look better by default. Now, here's the other aspect to this too. How much abuse do we actually expect a guy to take before firing back? You know, I had a conversation with my grandparents. They hate Donald Trump. Again, I'm neutral on a lot of this stuff. They despise Donald Trump. My entire family despises Donald Trump. But even my own grandfather, he said, you know, how much is this guy supposed to take? He's supposed to just sit here and be lied about and be manipulated on and just supposed to take it? I don't think that's going to happen. So when you look at the retribution, when you look at him suing the BBC, when you look at him suing 60 Minutes, I actually think this is very much justified. And I think this is actually a positive consequence that's going to be happening in the United States, and that this is going to have a positive ripple effect against the mainstream media. Because the mainstream media, one thing I think we can all agree on is that they're absolutely out of control. The way they try to, cultivate the narratives, the way they try to manipulate things, the mainstream media has gone so far away from actually reporting the news, from actually reporting unbiased facts, that, like I've said, they've become a television show the same as The View or Jimmy Kimmel. It's a talk show. It's not even a news show. There's no such thing as a news show in the United States. Even local news is corrupted to the point where it's dishonest. So what I think is going to happen here is Donald Trump winning these lawsuits, whether you like Trump or not, is actually going to make the news a better space. It's going to make the mainstream media a better space. And I think it's actually going to make America a better and more honest country, because you can't go and lie about people with impunity and just get away with it. I mean, I don't see why, and again, it's not about Trump. You can hate Trump. I still can't understand how somebody can make a case that the media should be able to lie like this, that the media should be able to twist things and cultivate the narrative, especially when the people who are funding these networks have ulterior motives and they're on the opposing side. It's so see-through, it's so transparent, it's so sickening. So I actually support this. I gotta be honest. I think Trump should sue the fuck out of the BBC. I hope he wins every penny. He's about to get really, really rich. He's rich, but he's about to get a lot richer. And honestly, I think that's good money to have because I don't want the media to lie. And again, especially when you're dealing with a guy like Donald Trump who's so transparent, he's so open, he's so honest, there's no reason to lie about him. Because even him, if you go up to him and talk to him, he would probably tell you about stupid shit he's done. He would tell you when he made a mistake. He's not the guy who pretends everything he does is right. And there's no reason to add extra shit and lie about it. So I agree with this. I think this is a good move. And I really do hope that we can stop this bullshit with the news. Also, it's pretty cool to see Joe Rogan talking about this. Rogan seems to be kind of switching up a little bit and becoming a little more honest himself, actually. Which is pretty cool. Like Rogan, it's nice to see him smiling, laughing, relaxing. Let me see what the chat's saying. Good night, Lois. You believe in all of Trump's lies? Buddy, if that's what you got from what I just said, I can't help you. If that is what you took away from what I just said, what's your name? Blue Streak? There's nothing I can do to help you in that scenario. Calling Trump being honest is like saying there's a Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. Again, if you got from that segment that I think Donald Trump is completely honest, maybe you need an ear cleaning. Something's not connecting with you. And that's obviously an issue that you're having that, I'm not the problem. That's an issue that you're having. So I think the comprehension issue is definitely there. Definitely, yeah, there's some people in these political streams that have some real comprehension issues. Because what happens with politics is people don't hear what you actually say. They just hear their rhetoric. So I'm literally here saying I don't support Trump, I'm neutral. But I have people with zero IQ coming in here acting as if I support him. It's sort of like a mental illness because you're so wrapped up in your own narrative that you're not even listening to the words coming out of my mouth. That's why I get a kick out of these political streams. I can literally sit here and say, Donald Trump is an evil man. And people will say, you're a MAGA cultist. It's mental illness. That's genuinely what it is. That's why I get such a kick out of these political streams. It's so funny to me. Let me see. Mention about the UK TV licenses being increased to fund the BBC's court case. What does that mean? BBC UK TV license. The BBC UK TV license is a mandatory annual fee as of late 2025 required by UK law to watch live. What does this mean? So, oh, damn it. See, I'm in Vietnam, so they're blocking it. Hold on. I want to try to find this. I have censored internet in Vietnam. So you need a license for any channel provider that's live? Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to figure this out. But yeah, guys, so what do you guys think? Do you think that Trump is right to sue the BBC? Because again, this is really what the bottom line is for me. It doesn't matter if you support Trump or you don't support Trump. To me, it's about the transparency of the television and the fact that people are actually trying to manipulate reality. And I do think Rogan has a good point too. Like when you're manipulating the words coming out of the mouth of one of the most powerful people in the world, you are then affecting things on a grander scale. I would even go as far to say that if the media is lying about what the president is saying, that could even fall under the lines of election interference. This is a serious crime. I mean, in my opinion, when you're manipulating the media, look, we have enough to worry about with AI. We have plenty to worry about in the real world that's not being manipulated. I see Trump break the BBC. Go for holiday in Australia. It will do you good. Angel, I agree. I think a lot of people need to go relax and calm down. Someone said Trump could release the files anytime. Why is he afraid to? Because he's in the files. We all know that already. But no, I'm a MAGA cultist who makes excuses for Trump. Even though I've sat here on multiple live streams and literally said he's a fucking pedophile who's in the files. But again, people don't hear that. They hear their deluded thinking in their own head. I'm a MAGA purist. I support Donald Trump. I'm crazy. I support him. You motherfuckers are crazy.
What's next?
There's a rejection of that, but the scary part is what we usually do is we do something like that and then we overcorrect, right? And then we go like white nationalists, fucking, we're all Christian, get rid of the Muslims. You know what I mean? Like it gets scary when there's like hardcore ideological conflict because people push back. Oh, you want to know what a bitch is? I'll show you a fucking bitch, right? You know, that's what happens. You gonna call me a bitch? Okay, motherfucker, it's on. You know, and then that's what people are doing on the left and the right, and the ultimate expression of that is obviously
So did Trump blow Bill Clinton or what? Did Trump blow Bill Clinton? What is this Bubba shit? Did you guys see this stuff? What is that about?
Sir, any response to the Epstein emails that mention your name?
Covering news and politics for 10 years, there really isn't a whole lot that stuns me anymore. But there is this email from the Jeffrey Epstein Files that is really making me wonder, who is Bubba and what did... That is the fact that 20,000 pages of documents from the Epstein Files have been released. Emails including a message which Epstein asserts Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls, which CNN appears to think is a reference to Trump's claim that he kicked Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club for poaching young women who worked there, or it could just mean that Trump knew what Epstein was doing. Epstein also wrote, quote, I know how dirty Donald is.
Here's the email.
Putin and Bubba. So Mark Epstein is Jeffrey Epstein's brother. Here is the email. That is quite something. So, of course, the email chain I'll read in a reverse order here. But Mark writes, how are you doing? A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? Epstein responds, saying, all good. Bannon with me. His brother Mark responds, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Let me stop.
This looks pretty fake, honestly. I don't understand that. Like, how can we have just emails like this and that's a substantiated source? Like this, anytime there's an email, whether it's the Pizzagate shit or whether it's any sort of email proof about ordering pepperoni pizza or all this stupid shit, how am I supposed to believe that? I could write that up right now. So I don't know if I believe that shit, but the one thing I do believe just before we go to the next story is, I mean, I still say, if anybody thinks Trump isn't involved with Epstein, I think you're just deluded. I think you're completely deluded. Bro got caught. It's not that complicated. He likes young girls. He likes girls who are 16, 17. He always has. Bro was creeping on his own daughter, saying he'd be banging his... Like, come on, dog. Seriously, it's enough. It's enough with the excuses. And this whole shit with Trump and Epstein, to me, is such a accurate representation of the way the world is, because it's like that creepy uncle. A lot of people in their families have had like the one uncle who might have like done some creepy shit or been weird, but they choose to ignore it. Maybe they're in denial, maybe they just like the guy. But Trump is like the creepy uncle. For some reason, people are allowing him to get away with it, acting as if it didn't happen, acting as if he didn't have his eye on young girls. I mean, even the fact that he had underage blonde girls of his type working at Mar-a-Lago serving drinks, even just that is enough for me. Even just that is enough. If that's not crossing the line for you, then again, you're the guy who's going to who's going to turn a blind eye to the creepy uncle. And this is a reflection of the world that we live in. That's why I'm confused about the people, like the people who are still really riding for Trump, who are like, yeah, man, fucking MAGA, bro, and fuck the Democrats, it's a hoax. It's kind of confusing to me because it's like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
Robert writing here.
Somebody said, did I see the painting of Bill Clinton in a dress? Yeah, I did actually. So this was Jeffrey Epstein's painting, right? Oh my God, dude, this is so creepy. That is so creepy. Why the fuck did he have this in his house, dude? Bro, Bill Clinton is a freak. That motherfucker needs to be under the jail. What was the one that he had of, this is all Jeffrey Epstein's painting. It was Epstein, George Bush. This one, it literally sends shivers down my spine, dude. Of him playing with the paper planes. Dude, this is so... Wait, I need a better resolution. So creepy. That's so fucked up. But yeah, so at the end of the day, dude, here's the thing. Two things can be accurate at once. Trump can still be implicated in Epstein and be a monster and all that shit, but he is right about holding the media accountable. Someone said that's his wife's dress. Is it?
Trump, we are now
is that his wife's dress?
Into it.
Let me see. Let me see what Trump was saying. Trump snaps at reporters pressing him on Jeffrey Epstein.
Mr. President.
Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? Can you turn that down, please? Too much. Too much. Okay?
Mr. President, what did Jeffrey Epstein mean in his emails when he said you knew about the girls?
I know nothing about that. They would have announced that a long time ago. It's really, what did he mean when he spent all the time with Bill Clinton, with the president of Harvard, who you know, who that is, Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is.
Wait, I thought it was a hoax. Hang on a second. Hang on a... See, I'm just trying to follow the Donald Trump train of logic. First it was a hoax. Then it's Bill Clinton and these other guys' fault from Harvard. Then it's a hoax again. Then I should be looking at Bill Clinton? I'm trying to... But it's a Democrat hoax. So if it's a hoax, then why should I be looking at Bill Clinton? I'm not following the logic.
All of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw strike because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You got to find out, what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Go ahead.
Incriminating in the files, Venezuela, sir. Why are you acting as if...
Quiet.
On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know you can't tell us what your next steps will be, but can you say, have you made up your mind on what...
Donald Trump, America's favorite creepy uncle. That's fucking priceless, bro. There was one more video I wanted to look at. So it says, the truth about what Trump told me in private, the Epstein Files. What? What is this?
Democrats from the House Oversight Committee released a slew of emails, and they are about as significant as anything we've seen yet, tying Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein in a far more significant way than we've ever heard to this point.
Yeah, and these emails are conversations between Jeffrey Epstein and author Michael Wolff, as well as Ghislaine Wolff's bringing that up. And Epstein says, if we could craft an answer, what should it be?
Now listen to this.
Which, by the way, we should say, makes it clear that Epstein is saying, if I could get information to Trump on how to respond to that question, what should it be?
Well, if it were simply, if the truth was simply all he knew, he just knew and socialized with Epstein, you wouldn't be concerned about crafting an answer. Right. You craft an answer when there are things you don't want to say or shade or avoid. Now listen to this. Wolff sends back to Donald Trump this. This is a quote.
No, Wolff sends back
to Epstein, excuse me. Wolff sends back to Epstein. This is a quote. I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Then he goes on to say this. If it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. That is way more.
The save him part is
Save him. Save him from what? That's the question. If it's just they socialized, you're not saving him from anything.
Right.
And then it gets into some of the victims. So,
right. Because this is 2019, in January 2019 email. Epstein, again talking to Michael Wolff, says that, there's this whole thing. Donald Trump has said that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and Ghislaine because they were poaching young women from his spa. So Epstein says to Michael Wolff, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member, ever. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
And if you have any question about whether Ghislaine knew about the girls and whether Trump was involved with the girls, listen to this. This is an email that goes back to April of 2011. This is Epstein dropping Trump's name to Maxwell in an email. Here's what he said, quote, I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And then the name of the victim is redacted. We know now it's Virginia Giuffre.
That's at the White House.
Justice for Virginia Giuffre, by the way. Justice for that woman, dog. They killed that woman. She killed herself as all this shit is happening, right? Killed herself with a 10 gunshots to the back of the head, right? Bro, that poor woman was tormented because she was caught in the middle of this shit with some very powerful people. Very powerful people. That fucking poor girl, man, like, that breaks my heart. It really, really does. She didn't deserve that, bro.
Thanks, Virginia Giuffre, right?
She said that Virginia spent hours at my house, Epstein's house, with him, Donald Trump. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there.
Virginia Giuffre, or is it Giuffre? Yeah, Virginia Giuffre. This was the girl that was trafficked with Prince Andrew and all this shit, dude. And all of a sudden, she kills herself. She was like 35 when she was 41 years old when she died, dude. She got suicided.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
The 75% there. But
hey, shout out to my boy, SQ in the chat. Uncle Joey's the man, bro. I love Joey for every day, forever, dog. That's my guy right there.
Saying that Virginia spent time with Donald Trump, not at Mar-a-Lago, but at Epstein's house.
Now, the White House has responded to these emails and said, Virginia, and this is true, Virginia Giuffre said that she had spent time with President Trump, but always said that he was nothing but kind and didn't suggest that there was anything criminal that he did.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Look, at the end of the day, we can go down the Epstein rabbit hole for hours. I always go back to the same thing. Even having girls who are 16, 17 working in a spa at Mar-a-Lago, serving alcohol, spending time behind closed doors with rich people, to me, that's enough to lose my support. So I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel. I'm not going to say you need to believe this or that. If you have underage girls waiting on billionaires, if you have underage girls in the mix at all, there shouldn't be underage women anywhere near you in any scenario if you're not guilty. That's my thing. If I have a country club like Mar-a-Lago, 21 and up, period. Period. Especially if I'm known that my type is blonde chicks, I'm not gonna have a 16-year-old blonde girl working at my fucking country club, bro, if I'm innocent. Whether I'm a gentleman to her or not. That to me is wrong. Why the fuck do you have underage women working for you, period? I don't get this. I don't get how people can support this. Whether he's in the files, whether even just that is a serious red flag. Serious red flag. There's no fucking reality where that's acceptable.
Right. But what's interesting is the email that I just read that Epstein sent Ghislaine about the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Ghislaine responds, I have been thinking about that.
So that's really, really interesting.
Yes.
Because clearly she's saying in that email, I have been thinking about that. I know what you just said to me about him spending time with Virginia at your house. I know about that. Why that's interesting is because Ghislaine Maxwell earlier this year had a very now infamous meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, where she said that she knew nothing about President Trump spending time with anyone who was underage. And right after she made that statement, she was transferred to this minimum security prison camp where she is now.
So chat, do you guys think that's acceptable or not? I'm seeing different things in the chat. Some people agree. You're an idiot if you think one party is better than the other. I agree with that. It's old news. Okay, and what? Is that supposed to mean it's not wrong? It's pretty common for people in the service industry to start working young. Yeah, but I'm not at a country club with rich, pervy dudes. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I would never let my fucking daughter work at Mar-a-Lago at 16 years old in a spa when there's fucking old dudes perving in the back, dude. Again, and this is a great commentary about, it tells me a lot about you. If you're okay with that, it tells me a lot about you. It really, really does.
So she told the Deputy Attorney General she didn't know anything about it, yet in this email she is saying, I've been thinking about that.
Since 2011.
Right.
Since
That was
2011.
in 2011.
So, look, these emails, which are not really part of the Justice, we don't know. They may be part of the Justice Department file. We don't know because.
No, so the House Oversight Committee said that these were received by subpoena. They subpoenaed the Epstein estate after his death.
Right.
In 2019.
Now, we don't know whether these are part of the Justice Department file or not, but that file is now headed for release, I think, with the swearing in of the Arizona Congresswoman today.
Yeah.
And once that happens, the file is going to be released. But the White House is calling BS on all of this. They're saying that this is just
taking campaign by the Dems and that
taking away from Trump's historic accomplishments. But there is something here that why in 2015, ahead of the debate, is Epstein trying to craft a statement?
He uses the word craft.
Craft a statement essentially about Epstein's relationship with Trump.
Right.
That is really interesting, to be continued.
Wow. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. All I know is this. I don't have the answers, but I do know this. All these motherfuckers have their day coming. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. The fact that people even care about that shows the sickness of the United States of America, the sickness of this country, how fucking deluded the citizens are, and the people are, and the systems are. Because you can be a pedophile if you're a Democrat, but not if you're... I don't give a fuck what you are. If you're fucking with young girls, I'm coming for you. Somebody's better be coming for you, and your fucking day is coming, guy. Your time is gonna come. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's up for all you motherfuckers. What did Cat Williams say? What did Cat Williams say in that interview last year? All you slimy little fucks in the behind the scenes, all you people pulling strings and doing shady shit and harming people, it's up for all of you. It's fucking over for all of you bitches. Left, right, middle, top, bottom, I don't give a fuck what side you're on. It's over. Your time is gonna come. Your fucking time is gonna come, dude. I've had enough of this shit. But I like Trump, and I don't give a fuck who you like. Same people making excuses for the creepy uncle. Shout out to the chat, man. So let's keep taking... Oh, yeah. What's this Megyn Kelly thing? It says, Megyn Kelly, she's okay with it. Yeah, what was that Megyn Kelly shit? Before I move on, I want to see that. This comment actually really surprised me from Megyn Kelly. Because I actually quite liked her, but I think she's... too much in the Trump cult now. Like, she's biased now. I've kind of liked Megyn Kelly. I will be honest, but like, it gets to the point where, like, again, if you're making excuse, I don't want to repeat myself, but if you're making excuses for this shit, you're kind of retarded. What was the comment that she said? Here. So she's kind of defending it then? Here.
I've said this. As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything.
Bro, nobody's forcing you to watch me, bro. If you don't like my stream, suck my dick. You think I give a fuck what you like, bro? Arctic, you think I give a fuck what Arctic Adjuster _ likes? Can lick my fucking nuts.
But virtually everything. And this person has told me
I don't
from
care.
the start,
I don't fucking
years
care.
and years ago.
I literally don't care. I would be doing this if nobody watched it. I'm just talking my shit. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. There's a lot to watch.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
What?
That he wasn't into, like, 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
What is she? Is she serious right now? She can't be serious. Megyn Kelly, you can't be serious, right? This has to be some kind of joke.
And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos.
We're talking about Epstein and Trump now, guys.
Was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a...
As opposed to what? Bro, this is mind-blowing. He was only fucking 15-year-olds. He wasn't an actual pedophile. What type of shit are you on, Megyn Kelly? Like, this is why I don't trust anybody. Like, dude, if I had a kid, this is why I don't trust anybody. A babysitter, I don't trust a soul. Because somebody can look normal and respectable and present themselves as, you know, a journalist, and they're fair, they're objective, and this is the type of shit they're going to tell you behind closed doors. It's not like he was into 8-year-olds. He wasn't that bad of a pedophile. He liked 12-year-olds. He was a little more respectable. You know, 4 years out, 5 years out. What type of fucking thing is it? What a thing to say.
A pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old, you know.
There's a difference, she says. Wow. I love the chat acting like I'm the only one offended by this when every fucking comment agrees with me. If I'm being unreasonable, why does every fucking comment here agree with me? How about you guys explain that one? What the actual fuck? What an odd thing to say. Leave the billionaire pedophiles alone. No, but I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Yeah. No, Cassius he's off base with this one, yeah. Big difference. Big difference. You motherfuckers are crazy. That's why I'm glad that I was looking at tickets for the Trump train like a couple years ago. I was like, how much are tickets? Let me just see if I might maybe want to get on the Trump train. But I decided to let the Trump train go. I'm glad I didn't get on it. You understand me? Because you motherfuckers are crazy. This bitch is crazy, and I'm going to call her a bitch. I would not trust her to babysit my kids. And look at the pedos in the chat. Look, there's a difference. There's a difference. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. I can't believe what I'm reading, bro. You're too soft to get on the Trump train. Yeah, you're right. I guess I don't like underage people, so. Yeah, maybe I definitely don't belong on it. That's definitely the train I want to be on. Yeah. The good guys, right? The good guys? The good guys who fuck kids, right? That's the side you're on? Okay, cool. That's cool. You would get beat if you walked in my city? I might be in your city right now. Come do something about it. Come and find me. I'm easy to find. Shout out to the chat who knows what's up, though. Shout out to the chat who knows what's up, because we're locked in. The ones who get it. We're locked in together. Someone said, you know what's really sick? She has a 15-year-old. That's crazy. That's crazy. So she would be okay with it then? Dude, I need to interview Megyn Kelly. What if I could get Megyn? Okay, I'll email her people. I have a decent amount of subscribers. Maybe she'll talk to me. I would like to ask her, Megyn, if somebody preyed on your 15-year-old kid, would that be different to you? That's what I want to know, Megyn Kelly. Wow. I'm almost at a loss for words, guys. So yeah, I mean, look, we started off pretty explosive and we kind of just went down the rabbit hole, but this is where we're at. This is the state of the United States of America, guys. And this is why I feel like if you're still championing politicians in the end of 2025 leading into 2026, it's legitimately a sickness. Like, people talk about Trump derangement syndrome. I do think that's a thing. But, like, I think political derangement syndrome is probably a better term. All these motherfuckers are sick. Republican, I don't care what it is. They're all twisted. They're all twisted. So yeah, I don't know if we have any more clips. I might jump over to a different story. Vote independent, we just need one. I don't think an independent will ever win. I don't think that's even possible, dude. Dude, these comments are crazy. Some of these comments I'm reading, you guys, some of the shit you guys are saying is blowing my mind right now. 15-year-old is disgusting, but it's not pedophilia. Bro, you're nuts. What are you talking about? Do you fucking hear yourself, Waldo? Do you hear how that sounds when I read it out loud? The shit that you just wrote in my chat? Let me read that one more time. Just so maybe it might sink in. This dude literally wrote in my chat, preying on a 15-year-old is disgusting, but it's not pedophilia. Do you hear what you just said? I might need a break. I might need a fucking break, bro. I might need a break because you guys are fucking pushing me to my limits. You guys are pushing me to my limits right now. How many fucking pedophiles are in my chat right now? This is pushing me to my limits. That's a fucking bizarre statement to make. That's just a bizarre statement to make, bro. What did Harvey say? I want to look at this other Harvey clip.
I'm going to tell you something about my relationship with Donald Trump that tells me he knew a lot about what Jeffrey Epstein was doing back in the day. So let's just start with these emails where Epstein says that Donald Trump was the dog that didn't bark, meaning Donald Trump knew something that was bad because Epstein even references cops in that email. So this is not an innocuous thing that Donald Trump knew but hadn't yet talked about. It's bad.
I'm seeing a lot of Michigan in the chat. Yeah, the people who support this, your parents are probably cousins. It's starting to make sense now. I think there's a lot of people in the chat whose parents are cousins.
And then you have Epstein sending an email to Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2011 saying that Donald Trump spent hours at his house and that with one of the victims, it was Virginia Giuffre. And Ghislaine says, yeah, I've been thinking about that. So there's no evidence in these emails that Donald Trump himself did anything wrong. But there is clear evidence that Donald Trump knew some of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. And some of it was bad enough that the cops were involved. So now my relationship. I knew Donald Trump for many, many years. When he was doing The Apprentice and I was starting out with Celebrity Justice back in 2002, you know, all the way through the time when he became president, we talked on the phone a lot. And he was a gossip. He loved to gossip. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, a lot of people gossip. He loved it. And look, I don't think I'm the only person who was saying this. I mean, people who knew him, you know, reporters, you know, he just loved to gossip. And I have to say that
when you deal with him personally, he is a very charming, personable, and even funny guy. And
bro, all these douchebags just use this as an excuse to like brag that they're friends with the president. That's kind of like Piers Morgan, Harvey Levin. It's like they all just want to like, they're acting like they're giving you information, but really what they want to do is just brag that they're friends with the president. He's a charming guy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, literally, what are you talking about right now? Do you, I feel like people don't hear themselves.
You know, that was kind of our relationship when I would call him about a story or whatever. And so, you know, I'll give you an example. You know, I remember there was one time when Donald Trump, I was actually in his office, and he pointed out the window to a building, and he said, I'm not going to name the person because I have no idea whether this is true or not, but a very famous person would bring women to that the apartment building and have sex with them. So that was a gratuitous comment that had nothing to do with why I was there, but he just liked to gossip. So, you know, the idea...
The creator of TMZ saying somebody else likes to gossip is crazy too, by the way. What the fuck? Harvey Levin is accusing someone of liking to gossip. Where's my popcorn? Popcorn? There's nobody there. Give me a couple more years of streaming, I'll have a butler waiting with fucking popcorn for this shit.
Yeah, that Donald Trump would wall himself off from something scandalous that Jeffrey Epstein was doing and not want to know about it. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. And I don't think many people are. But he loved to do that. So now we're in a situation where even if these files come out, Donald Trump has made it clear he's running so scared about these files, you know, calling meetings in the Situation Room with Congress people who were going to vote to release the files, that he's running so scared that even if they get released, whatever is in them, it is not going to satisfy a lot of people because people are going to say, what was redacted? I mean, it
sounds like Harvey's trying to clear his name before this shit comes out. Are you guys feeling what I'm feeling? Like, Harvey's talking about Trump running scared. I feel like these guys are running scared. It almost feels like this shit's really about to come out. I don't know if you guys tell me if you can feel it too. I feel like shit's about to hit the fan with this. Because people are starting to position themselves like, well, I knew Trump, but I didn't know about it, and he might have mentioned something, but I didn't know. And why do they choose to say this now? You know, Trump became the president for the first time in 2016. Why are we doing this now? Why all of a sudden is this important to mention now? Harvey didn't mention this when he first won. I didn't hear a thing about it during Biden. Why are we covering our tracks now, I wonder?
The Justice Department. It's Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is under Donald Trump's thumb. So the idea that, oh, well, we're seeing everything. People at this point are just not going to believe it the way Donald Trump is acting. And as for what the administration is saying, that, well, one of the reasons we want to keep this private is that there are a lot of names in this file where people did nothing wrong, but they're going to get automatically smeared. Well, look, we've been saying for months, even before this came out in mainstream media, we know, because I've talked to two people who have seen these files, who have said there's nothing untoward about Trump in the files, that his name is mentioned a lot, but nothing untoward. And as for the others who are mentioned, I will point to Diddy, that a lot of people were saying, oh my God, anybody who was in Diddy's world is going to get now smeared and canceled because he's now on trial for what he allegedly did. Well, that didn't happen. I mean, Diddy socialized with a lot of people, and none of them got really swept into this. And you could argue the same would happen if the file is released. So, to be continued.
Harvey is so in those files, bro. Harvey, you're scared, dude. I gotta get back on TMZ to give Harvey a talking to. Did you guys see me on TMZ? I gotta get back on TMZ.
This is Cassius Morris from Edmonton, Canada, weighing in on Harvey Weinstein. The first thing I thought when
Oh yeah, I was talking about another pedo, Harvey Weinstein, yeah.
denied his alleged quote from The Spectator being true was that this would be quite the misinterpretation. His lawyer claims the lawsuit was never even brought up in the interview, so if that's the case, there's no misinterpretation. This is a full-on character assassination piece, which isn't overly uncommon in the media, but I think it's less than likely in this situation. There's overwhelming evidence against Harvey, and so many people have already spoken out, so I wonder what the motivation would be to make up more falsehoods after the fact. But either way, I don't think there's a chance he's innocent at this rate, and I think the facts point straight towards what happened.
Hey, Cassius, what do you do for a living?
I actually am a podcaster.
Yeah, you're a good talker. You're a good talker. Yeah, I can tell.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Very smooth.
Well, then hire me, motherfucker. You know where to find me. If I'm that good, maybe I can come work for you and give you a little talking to, Harvey. It's so disheartening, bro. It really, really is. I don't even want to keep looking at this story because it's so disheartening. Unbelievable. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let's hop over to something else. I need to decompress a little bit from all this evil shit. The world is run by evil pedophile lizard people and everything's fucked. So let's just accept it and move on. Hopping over to another story. Axl Rose had a very curious encounter which resulted in an unfortunate result for a chef by the name of Rick Oswaldo Cuscano. Now this chef evidently is a huge fan of Guns N' Roses, and he ended up taking a picture with Axl Rose when Axl came into his restaurant. This is the photo here, so it looks like Axl visited the JW Marriott. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but it looks like somewhere in South America. So the chef, I guess, looks like he's a really big fan. He took a photo with Axl. And then a news story came out that this chef was actually fired and canned from his job, which he'd had for a very, very long time, for taking the photo with Axl Rose. So let's take a little read at this. It says a hotel chef who met and took a picture with his hero Axl Rose says he has no regrets, despite later being fired for breaking his employer's rules over interacting with guests. According to Peru news outlet Bio Peru Noticias, Richard Perez Cuscano was chef at the Marriott Hotel in Lima when Guns N' Roses were in town for a performance at Estadio Nacional earlier this month. A lifelong Guns N' Roses fan, Cuscano was thrilled to be cooking for the band's frontman and eventually took his chance and asked Rose if he would pose for a picture with him. The vocalist was happy to do so, and Cuscano posted the picture on social media, along with a caption quoting lyrics from the GNR track November Rain. He added, "How do I explain to my younger self that this will happen in a few years, that one day he'll become a chef and one night he'll cook like never before for Axl Rose, and that he'll shake my hand. Was it worth it? It was, it is, and it will continue to be worth it until my last day." Louder Sound reports that soon after he was fired for apparently breaking a Marriott policy which prohibits staff from interacting with guests outside the scope of their work duties. Come on. Cuscano later told the press that I was the chef of the restaurant. I took a picture with Axl Rose after cooking for him and got fired for breaking the rule. What a crock of shit, dude. Come on. I think this is terrible. Look, here's the thing about interacting with celebrities, and I've learned this after decades of doing so. There's a time and a place to ask for a photo or to ask for an autograph, and this actually I would say is one of them. When you are interacting with celebrities in a capacity where you're working together or you're providing a service, I'm talking chef, private pilot, driver, it is sometimes called for to ask for a photo. The times that it's not called for to ask for a photo, ask for an autograph, is maybe when you're catching somebody in a weird time, you're catching somebody in a moment where they don't want to be photographed, you're seeing them out on the street, or maybe they just woke up, they got off a plane. Those are the moments when you want to leave a celebrity alone. Like, I'm not a big picture autograph guy, definitely not autograph. I feel like autograph is sort of 1970s, like I don't really need you to sign a piece of paper because you're famous. That doesn't really do anything for me. I used to collect autographs, but again, that's kind of young man shit when I was a teenager. But I was told by a professional interviewer when I first started my craft was that if you do an interview, a photo and or an autograph is called for. I would say the same thing again for these guys providing the service, the plane, the driver, the chef. So I think that this was unreasonable. To fire a chef, other people made the point though that maybe they were looking to get rid of him anyway. That was the one point that people had made. So I think I could believe that. Like, I would imagine that maybe this was a convenient excuse to get rid of this guy. If he was a super good chef who never did anything wrong and they were looking at keeping him long term, they probably would have had some leniency. And I can kind of understand the policy to a certain extent, but I think this is overkill to fire this guy. To fire a professional chef who has a trade like this. So I want justice for this guy. I think... And Axl has watched my channel before. So Axl, if you're watching this one, help this guy get his job back, dude. I remember when Young Dolph, the rapper, he had 2 fans get fired for playing his music at work. I'll never forget this. 2 fans got fired. And I went to see Young Dolph in concert shortly after that, and he actually brought those people out on stage at the concert I was at. And he told the crowd what happened. He said they got fired for playing his music, and he presented each one of them, 2 employees who got fired, with a bag of cash. And he gave each one of those employees $100,000 cash, each, for being fired for playing his music at work. And then went and did an epic song. And it was one of the coolest moments I had ever seen in concert. I so loved it. It was fucking incredible. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. But that's what I would say. Axl, help this guy get his job back, dude. This is ridiculous. Because the fans are the boss. The fans are the boss. And that's why I like that. You know, I like that Axl even took the picture, because I think Axl understands that the fans are the boss. There's nothing I hate more than somebody who's put in a position of power or wealth or to live the life of their dreams by fans, and then they act like they're inconvenienced by it. Let's not forget Axl, and not Axl because he's being cool, but like the only reason a celebrity is able to eat at a fancy restaurant is because I'm paying for it. That's what a lot of celebrities forget. Celebrities get rich and they have this perception that it's their money. And while it is their money in their bank account, the part that a lot of them seem to forget is that it's actually my money. Because I'm the one who's buying the albums, I'm the one buying the t-shirts, I'm the one buying the concert tickets. So you have possession of the money. But when you go to buy a 5-star restaurant and you're eating prime rib every day, you're actually spending my paycheck. You're spending my money. So if you're rich off of my money, I'm not owed anything, but it would be nice to treat me with a little bit of respect. You know? I look at these rappers buying $100,000 watches, and then they piss on their fans. They won't take a picture or say hello. You bought that watch with my money. I bought that Rolex. So have a little bit of humility to the people who put you in that position. That's ultimately what I would say. Let's hop over. There's a couple other stories I wanted to look at. There was this thing with Jack Dougherty. What's up with him? I want to look at that. So Jack Dougherty. Hold on a second. Lil TJ's going viral for his latest performance at Applebee's. What? Oh. Bro, rap fell off so bad, dude. I don't know what happened to hip hop in the past year, but it fell off so fucking bad. It's not even cute anymore. I can't even deal with that story. So let's take a look at this. Jack Dougherty, Twitch streamer and YouTuber, was arrested in Miami. Bro, this is the most unintimidating mugshot I've ever seen in my life, dude. How do you manage to get a mugshot taken and not look cool? Like, even the most unassuming, softest dude can manage to look cool in a mugshot. This is just not doing it. But he was arrested reportedly on drug charges and resisting arrest. Resisting arrest is crazy.
I got it. Hey, yo, back up. I'm just saying I got it. Back up. Don't worry about it. Back up.
Look at him. He's trying to film it.
Chill. Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? You're funny. You want to be fucking funny. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to be funny? You trying to get on the street, go on the fucking street. I know who the fuck you think you are, bro. No, you're fucking not. Like, after I fucking do it, who the fuck are you, bro? I was trying to walk in the street. Doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking sidewalk.
Is that guy a cop? Dude, Miami cannot be a real place. Why do the cops talk like some dude, like a random dude off the street? He's in a kid's face talking about who do you think you are.
After I fucking do it, who the fuck are you, bro? I was trying to walk in the street. Doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking sidewalk. That's it.
Bro, what? Why are the cops so unprofessional in Florida, dude? I never felt more unsafe around cops than I did in Florida. Because it's literally just some retard with a badge.
Who the fuck you think you are, bro? No, you're fucking not. Like, after I fucking do it, who the fuck are you, bro? I was trying to walk in the street. Doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking sidewalk. That's it.
What
That's it, bro.
Free JD. Free JD. They're great.
This is crazy. Yeah, man. Somebody said the world is healing because Jack Dougherty got arrested. Accountability, man. That's the one thing about these young rich kids. No accountability whatsoever. He'll probably get out pretty soon, though. I wouldn't be surprised. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, guys. So that's it, really. We looked at Joe Rogan. We looked at Trump. We looked at Epstein. A lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on. But I'm going to be back on tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more. I think I want to cover this Kiss reunion. Kiss got back together. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all these different stories, dude. You guys know where I stand on this shit. I feel like I made my point very clear. It's up for all the pedos, all the creeps. It's up for you guys. 2025, man. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. I got you in my scope. I got you in my line of sight. And we'll deal with you. Trust me. But yeah, we'll be back live tomorrow, guys. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned.